Welcome to Shallow. One podcast, two time zones, diving deep into a new topic every week. From pop culture to beauty and wellness trends, careers and ambitions, these conversations flood our WhatsApp inboxes and social media feeds. Dialing in from Sydney, Australia and London, UK, we're asking the same question. Is it really that deep?
The shallow take, endometriosis is just bad period pain. But with endo affecting around 190 million globally, this is anything but niche. Yet, despite how common it is, those living with endometriosis still face years of delayed diagnosis, undertreatment, and systemic dismissal, all fueled by a culture that minimises, ignores, and normalises female pain. Today, we're digging into endo, diagnosis delays, how deeply female pain is overlooked, and what it actually feels like to live with a condition society has normalised, brushed off, or ignored entirely. Let's dive in. Lucy Bell, you're here. I'm looking you dead in the face.
I was like mirroring you there.
We're on the same time zone. How are you?
Oh my god. The topic of this conversation we're going to have today is very serious, I will say, and it's very deep. I'm in a very giggly mood.
We've sat down and we've got the gigs.
We've got the gigs and we're sat opposite each other, which makes it even better. I'm back in Australia, back in Sydney. We usually start the episode with a recommendation.
What is your recommendation?
It's Sydney. Honestly, I think every person in their life should visit this place because it's the best of both worlds. You've got the city. You've got the beach, you've got nice outdoor walks in nature, you've got a beautiful nature reserve with the Blue Mountains, you've got beaches left, right, centre. Honestly, it's amazing. It's almost perfect.
And this episode is sponsored by the Sydney Tourism Board.
The only thing I would say that's not perfect is the crossing the road system.
Yeah, it's a bit cooked,
yeah,
isn't it?
You have to wait for like 5 to 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And that is a Londoner's mindset.
Yeah, it's like get me across the road.
I need to get across.
Yeah.
I don't know where I'm going because I'm on holiday, but I need to be.
Yeah.
I need to be across this road, and you have to wait for ages. And then it sounds kind of like lasers are going off as you're crossing.
Pew,
yeah, pew, 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 as you cross.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's a really good bit of interesting information.
But
yeah, apart from that, 10 out of 10.
It's because we're banned by talking about the weather. There's a weather embargo.
Yeah, there's a weather embargo.
So now we're doing crossing the road.
It's pretty nice though.
It's pretty nice.
And it's pretty sunny.
Just saying.
Just saying.
My recommendation
sorry, I didn't ask you anything. I was like, and me.
About me. Is The Wedding People. It's a book. Really good. The main protagonist is called Phoebe, but that's not why I'm recommending it.
Narcissist.
Narcissism. No, it's really, really good. It centres around... Well, actually, no, I'm not going to spoil it. Just go read it. It's great.
Go read it. Is it fiction?
Yes.
Nice.
Yeah.
Love a good
but
fiction.
if I give too much, like it's very easy to give too much away.
Is it about people who go to a wedding?
Yeah, it's about that.
Cool.
Yeah, that's all you need to know.
Interesting.
Anyway, let's dive in. So today we wanted to talk about endometriosis, which basically I alluded to, if you listen to the first episode we did a little preamble of why there'd been a bit of a gap in proceedings, longer than normal. Luce, you had a really full-on job, and I went in to have surgery because I found out that I had endometriosis, which was a bit of a weird time. And in our very giggly mood today,
I'm like,
it's not endo. We wanted to talk about it and dedicate an episode to it because it's not just me, it's not just little old me that has been suffering. So basically 10% of reproductive aged individuals worldwide have endo. So that's approximately about 190 million people. That's from the WHO. And the University of York has studied that it takes an average of 6.6 years from symptom onset to diagnosis, and that's globally. And actually in the UK, the average diagnosis delay is 8 years and 10 months. And also in the UK, 1 in 10 people have endo. So that's 1.5 roughly million people. And just to put this into perspective of kind of like what you're dealing with for diagnosis, because I'll get into my story a little bit down the line, but 74% of people have had 5+ GP appointments before diagnosis. 47% have had 10+ GP visits. 52% have been to A&E at least once. And 78%, and this doesn't surprise me at all because I went through a similar thing, said a clinician questioned the seriousness of their symptoms.
Classic.
Yeah, not a shock. And then kind of going into fertility, about 30 to 50% of women with endo experience infertility, and about 25 to 50% of infertile women estimated to have undiagnosed endometriosis. And I think taking out of period endo for a second, even with your kind of, because we've spoken about your hair loss in the past, like even you getting a diagnostic for that and that being taken seriously, that was really tough, wasn't it?
I still haven't been diagnosed for it. It's like, oh, you know, more than likely have this.
Yeah.
We don't know why. We don't know why it started, why it's happening, but it's probably this, and we can't treat it. It's basically like, but it's for the endo side. Like, I think for somebody, I mean, I don't suffer from endometriosis, but I think over the past few years, especially the past maybe like 3 to 5 years, it's come into the forefront of my mind a lot more through social media and people talking about it and women kind of coming forward and saying I have this condition, and it seems it's for something that's so serious and so severe, it seems so common. And you know, I could name 5 people on my hand, including yourself, who've had surgery for endometriosis, and that's just standard. It's just like, oh yeah, women just have this. It's like, you know, back in the day, be like, oh yeah, female pain.
Yeah.
That woman's just in pain. She's just got a bit of pain, you know, female problems. You know what I mean?
Even you say back in the day, and like I think going through this thing myself, it's not even back in the day, and it's now.
No, it's exactly, yeah.
It's like a total societal normalization of female pain, basically.
No, honestly, like when I say back in the day, I mean like, you know, when they used to like send women off to those like institutes, they'd be like, oh no, she's just crazy. She's just, and you know, she probably had endometriosis amongst, you know, other things that were undiagnosed because everything was just classed as hysteria.
Yeah, and you do feel like you're losing your mind because like not only are you going through these weird symptoms and there's such a broad spectrum of what you can have as well. Like it can be anything from like fatigue to painful periods to like cloudy brain to like feeling like you've got a UTI. Like there's so many things that you can get that you do almost feel like you're losing your mind because you're like, what the fuck is wrong with me?
And what they do is they bring you in and they're like, oh yeah, but you've got a bit of anxiety.
Yeah,
you've got a bit of anxiety there. That's classic female anxiety. Put a sticker on it. GA.
Have you thought about sertraline?
Generalized anxiety disorder. Get her on the sertraline. Done. One and done.
Have you thought about citalopram?
Have you thought about just being happy, Phoebe? Have you thought about just not being in pain?
Just take a walk. Take a walk. Get outside.
Take a walk. Fresh air.
Yeah, fresh air. You're gonna.
Oh my god, fresh air.
It.
Go to the sea. Sit by the sea. You know, classic. The classic cure for all female pain.
Solves everything. But I mean, I think there is such societal stigma. There's minimization of period pains, and there's just such a lack of training. And Endo UK is lobbying for a 1-year diagnosis time by 2030, which I think, as you were mentioning, like it's probably got the best PR out of like period issues, right? But in the sense of like a lot of people know what it is now. I would love to see that happen. I am skeptical.
Yeah, well, I didn't know what endometriosis was a few years ago. Like I just had no idea.
Yeah, neither did I.
I just hadn't been taught about it. I had no idea. And then it's almost like this massive influx of women being diagnosed, right? And obviously there's still a backlog and there's still, you know, people going through that process. But I mean, I didn't even know there was Endo UK. Like, you know, that's new to me.
I didn't know that either until we researched the episode.
And you have endometriosis.
And I have it. Yeah,
that's crazy.
Which is mental.
Let's dive a little bit more into like your story. I want to hear from you. Like, I think these kind of episodes are really good because although we can sit and we can talk about the stats and, you know, what it is, you know, statistically and physically to have it, but you know, there is an emotional toll to it as well, which we will go into because you know you've dealt with that side. But it'd be great if you could kind of tell the listeners like what your experience is, because I feel like there's going to be multiple women who listen to this episode who have gone through the same or are going through the same, or are maybe thinking, wait, I have some of these symptoms. Is this a possibility for me?
Yeah, definitely. So I think probably, I'm going to try and do a long story short because we will be here all evening. But I think what happened to me is a classic thing that happens to a lot of women is that they take a hormonal holiday, right? So this is what my GP calls it, where you've been on the pill since you were like, what, 15, 16, maybe even younger. And you're like, I've been on this for like 10 years. I don't know what my body's like without it. I'm going to come off it. And like up to this point, I'd never really had a period pain. Like I'd had, honestly, in school, I thought it was like an old wives' tale that like people said to get out of PE. Like that was my impression of that. And then I remember I was around uni time. I probably had one really, really bad period where I thought I was really sick, and then it kind of passed over, and it was never too bad. But I think I never went to the GP about it because it is so successfully normalised by society. Like I think period pains, it's just part and parcel of being a woman. And I think you know me when it comes to health things, I'm quite loud. And because I've had a lot go on, and I will nudge and nudge and nudge because I know when things are normal and when they aren't. And this was one thing that I didn't nudge on because I was like, this is normal. Like this, I've come to expect this. And then about solidly a year after coming off the pill, the pain was just too bad. I remember just like lying on the bathroom floor. I couldn't get up. I went to the doctor because I thought I had appendicitis, and they said, no, like you're on your period. Like that was just a valid excuse. Like that was a valid reason.
Oh, great.
Yeah, I'm just like, this is...
Oh, great, this is normal,
yeah,
apparently.
Yeah.
Lying
like,
on the bathroom floor.
And that was the impression that I got. And it was just like, do you want to go back on the pill? That was the which like you've had as well.
Isn't it?
Yeah, of just like anything. It's like, here's more birth control. And I never got an explanation as to why. It just felt like, okay, well, it worked for you before, so let's just go back on it. And I was just like, no.
See, that makes me so mad because it's a similar story for me as well. It's like, and lots of people, it's like, you go in, you have a problem that's female related, and they will just put you back on birth control. And that's kind of the hormonal holiday. Is exactly what I did. And I was like, I don't know who I am or what my body does off the pill. As soon as I came off, acne like I've never had it before. You know, I've had respective hair loss problems, all kind of like I feel tied into my hormones in some way, not too sure why, which is something I need to look into. But this kind of way that these like medical professionals just throw out the pill like it's like anything, and that's, you know, there's a place for the pill. We've done an episode with Bethan Walters, who is an amazing female health advocate, and you know, there's so many reasons for women to be on the pill, but it is just a cure-all at this point. So after you kind of came off this and you were you know, having intense period pain on the bathroom floor, and just, you know, did you go back onto the pill?
No, which arguably should have done. But I think for me, it was like I was never getting an explanation as to why. And I was like, do we need this like looked into? Like, is it? And it was, I don't think I was ever offered a scan. Not once, not even, we should probably just take a look and see what's going on here. It was like the pill or go away. And when I basically said I didn't want to go back on the pill, I was like, what's my other options? And they were like painkillers. And so I ended up going on mefenamic acid, which is basically, I'm not a doctor, but it did the job, at least to a degree. And then I'd probably say the symptoms just kept getting worse. So it wasn't just once a month where I was getting period pains. Like I felt exceptionally tired all the time. I kept thinking I was getting UTIs. I was like very brain foggy, like to the point where I just didn't often feel like I was in the room. But I was so kind of blissfully unaware.
I'm just like, this is my state of being, and this is how people function, so I just need to function with it. And you kind of suppressed it almost. You're like, well, I'm in all this pain and stuff, but so-and-so's dealing with it. Like, that's another woman, she's not, you know, crippled with pain.
She's fine.
So she must be just dealing with it, whereas it's actually not normal. And when you said that they didn't even offer you a scan, it really annoys me because, you know, my brother went in, love my brother, but he went in to the GP, he had some stomach pain, like some abdominal pain, instantly sent in for a scan. Instantly, like it was like off the bat. And obviously I know he doesn't have a reproductive system like we do, but it's like, hold on a second, like our bodies, if anything, are more complicated. So surely we should be wanting to learn more about what goes on inside. Right?
Absolutely. And I think there's a real lack of education on one end. Like I don't know how much training they get on this in med school. I don't imagine it's a lot. So there's that, but then, which I have empathy for, because I'm like, okay, if you weren't trained in this, how are you to know? But then the flip side of it is like, you should at least be investigating it.
Diligence, yeah. Send off some
yeah,
scans
and
tests.
just the minimization and the normalization of it was what really whacked me around the head. And I was fully down that rabbit hole of like, this is normal. And then literally speaking of Beth and Walters, she was the person who told me it wasn't normal, and she was like, Phoebe, this isn't normal and you should really get this looked into. So fast forward, me moving to the other side of the world, I had a few health things to pick up. So
just
I was
a quick jump between uni and moving to Australia.
Sorry, I should probably like patch that gap.
But I think it's good to give that kind of scope, because that is a long period of time that you've been dealing with this, and like, you know, you've obviously had your other kind of immune problems with your eczema and things like that, but like that is a long span of time to be in pain a lot, you know? And then obviously now fast forward, but I think it's good to keep that in there.
Definitely. And I think also I had like on off during uni, and then it got really bad around 2020, it's about 5 years ago. And I was just like pushing through work, working from home if I had to, like just dosing up on medication as much as I could. Like I remember this, like getting to on, you know, this happened to me here as well, pre-surgery, like getting to train platforms, trying to get into work and just not being able to get on the train, or having to sit on the floor because I couldn't make it. And then just having to be like, and just feeling so bad that you're not the one who's able to push through or do it. But yeah, hop, skip and a jump. 4 years later,
just dealt with it for that long.
Saw a GP here, and she was amazing and just was like, yep, your friend's totally right, this is absolutely not normal, I'm sending you for a scan. After 1 or 2 scans, turns out I had an endometrioma, which is a certain type of cyst, and 9 times out of 10 that indicates you have endometriosis. So like we had a pretty good idea early on that it was endo, but obviously to get an official diagnostic, you need surgery.
And for people listening, like, what would be the difference between that kind of cyst and like a PCOS cyst? Like,
I do not know.
Is it something to do with the hormones?
I don't know. I think all I know is that my cyst was a chocolate cyst, so it was blood filled. So I don't know if that plays a part in it. A little chalky cyst. Yum yum yum.
Yummy.
But no, I didn't never asked, actually. I should.
Interesting. Yeah, that's something to think about when learning things.
I could just Google it, to be fair. But anyway, so then at that point, because they had looked into it, and my GP was like, okay, here's your options. Like, we either go straight into surgery, we put you on the pill because that's now your form of treatment, or we do the Mirena. I'm not a fan of things inside me that are like foreign bodies. I'm trying to word that well. So I was like, let's go back on the pill. They were like, it worked before for you because you were pretty period pain free, and you know, let's do that again. So I went back on the pill, and it did help to a degree. It wasn't perfect, but it did help. I mean,
the pill is there because women's research isn't there for everything. So like, obviously the pill helps in many different ways because it helps regulate hormones, right? So exactly, it is a cure for not a cure, but it is a treatment. Yeah,
definitely. And I think that it was it definitely helped with some of the brain fog, some of the fatigue, which was also meant that a lot of it was hormonal, which again we just don't know enough about. But we did that for 6 months, and then basically, long story short, I had another round of bloods, had another scan. The endometrioma had got too big, and it needed to be medically removed. Surgically removed. It needed to be taken out, essentially, because it was on my right side and it was getting really close to my appendix. So they were like, it's going to start causing appendicitis. So anyway, we went in, and also this is over the course, I'm like speed running, but this was over the course of a fair while. And basically, we went in, we did the surgery, and turns out the endometriosis was everywhere. It was severe. It was stage 4, which is, there's 4 stages for reference. And it was over my gut, my bowels, my ovaries, my kidneys, my liver, it was just everywhere, and it was deep, and I was also internally bleeding.
Yeah. No wonder like you were like not able to get up for a train. Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's completely validating in a way.
Yeah.
How did you feel like off the back of finding out that information? Was obviously it's a shock. It's like it's an invasive surgery, but did you feel validated in a way?
Yeah, there was definitely an element of validation. I think I was just really shocked. Like, I remember, because I mean, I also thought laparoscopy, not that invasive, we'll be over this really quickly. Like, I woke up in a hospital bed in severe pain with a catheter in. I couldn't walk.
Yeah.
And the first thing I did was throw up.
Yeah. I mean,
so my first thought wasn't validation.
No,
it was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And then when the doctor kind of explained it, it was like, okay, this is really validating. But I was also left with a lot of anger.
Because it'd been left almost that long, and almost by no fault of your own as well. Like, that is, you know, you have gone to doctors, you've gone to GPs, you've told people. It's not like you've completely hidden it and been like, oh, I've just been dealing with this silently, which you know you have to an extent, but not by any fault of your own, if that makes sense. Like, you told them, you kept telling them, and then it took to, you know, for you to go to the other side of the world where, you know, maybe we'll get into this a little bit, but the care has been a lot better, and they've taken you a lot more seriously for it to finally kind of be removed and, you know, kind of go to that stage. And then, it's really aggravating. Yeah,
it really was. And it just, all I could think about really in my recovery time, which I was like quite depressed for, to be honest, was just anger at the system, anger at this like just so total societal normalization of female pain. Like, the fact that the expectation is that you get up and you run the same race that everyone else is running, and you don't get extra time off, you don't get a fucking gold medal, you're just having to do it. And the whole time I was just wondering why I was struggling to keep up.
Yeah.
And I think when you get that certificate of like, here's what was going on, totally validating.
Bit too late.
But also, like, you know, not to be too depressing, but like,
no, be depressing. It is depressing. Like, be depressing about it, because it is. And for people listening as well, that, you know, they might be sat feeling really shit about themselves and feeling like they're not being listened to. So like, you saying it was really depressing is validating as well. Like, you know, you can have two things at once. You can be angry, you can be sad, you can be all those things, because you deserve to feel those things, if you know what I mean.
Thanks, babes. Love you for that. And it's so, you're so right. Like, I think you're allowed to feel all the rainbow of emotions, but I think when you're like sitting in it, and obviously I'm only 7 weeks past my surgery date now, so it's all still pretty fresh, and I'm starting to feel a lot better, which is great.
I mean, you look great.
Thanks, hun. But I think when I was kind of sitting there and like writing this episode, and also just kind of sitting in my post-surgery feelings, I was like, that's 5 to 6 years of my 20s that I'm not getting back.
Yeah.
And, you know, like, you know me, like, I was always really, and like, I am really career driven, but it almost forced me to like, I just didn't have a choice. I was like, I can't go for the promotion that I want to go for, and I can't, you know, like, run all over the world in the way I'd like to and travel it, because you're constantly gearing yourself up for that next 2 weeks of your cycle. So at best, you maybe have 2 weeks where you feel like a normal individual, and the other 2 weeks, so that's half the year where you're either in bed, or you're low, or you're feeling it, or, you know, I'm sat on the sofa watching Sex and the City, which I still do, and it's shit. Like, there's no other word for it. It's just shit. And you know, I think there's, with that systemic nature as well, like, I know there's a few countries who've brought in kind of endo leave and things like that.
Which country?
I think it was Portugal or Spain or someone. You get a couple of days off.
I mean, that should be like blanket rolled out.
Yeah, and like, I hate to like roll out the obvious, like, if it was a man thing, but if it was, one, we'd have a fucking cure, and secondly, like, there would be a red carpet being rolled out for you.
Can you imagine if a man couldn't get onto a train because he was in that much reproductive pain?
Yeah.
Like, can you imagine if that was just a standard part of the male, like, existence and experience, this this would not happen. Like people, they would not be ignored. It would be like my brother going in, like instantly scans this, that, we'll see what we can do. It's like, why is this not taken seriously when you're, you know, a lot of your kind of organs were covered in this, you know, in this endometriosis, and, you know, it impacted like your bladder, your kidneys, your liver, your, like everything to do. And, you know, it affects, you know, eating and exercising and career and everything in between, you know. And I know you're a very motivated person. You know, you've been dealing with all this, but you're very motivated, and you've always been a kind of go-getter no matter what. Like, you're very like, I'm going to do this and I'm going to sort this out. And, you know, like, you deserve to be able to do that, but not being in crippling pain, you know? Like, you're doing it in crippling pain, which is amazing. But, you know, we should be, we should be like, oh, well done for, it should be like, no, enough. Like, we're not applauding women for like dealing with this shit. Yeah. You know, and going to work in pain, like, oh, well, no, fucking sort it out. I'm getting angry now.
No, good.
Fucking sort it out. No, but like, sort it out. Like, don't applaud the women for fucking getting on with it. We've been doing that for centuries. That's just what we do. That's what women do and have done since the dawn of time. Let's stop that now. And let's take women seriously. Let's take women's health seriously, and just like, shut up.
No, that was great.
But like, I felt as I was like talking, I was like, yeah, fuck this. No, like, it's not fair. It's not fair that, and that makes you bitter. Like, it makes you feel like I hear about my brother, you know, just getting, you know, sent straight through. Yeah. And it makes me angry. And I was like, funnily enough, I was on the pill for ages. This year, maybe for like 6 months, because I was seeing whether it would like help my hormones again after coming off it for 5. And I started getting really bad like bloating and pain, and I thought, oh, maybe this is to do with the pill. And I went to literally like 3 doctors. No. And I was in crippling pain. I kept telling them not taking me seriously. And at that same time, my mum was like, oh yeah, your brother's been in like kind of this exact same kind of pain, like bloating, and then they're sending him for a scan. And I was like, are you joking? And then that's when I like called up and I was like, can you give me a scan? Like, can you do me an ultrasound? And they did like the basic one, and they didn't even call me back. They didn't even call me back and say, oh, it was fine, or oh no, it's not fine. And it's like, I know when I go back from Australia, I'm gonna have to like follow that up. And it's like, why am I following this up? Why have you been following this massive thing up for, you know, the best part of 5 to 10 years of your life? Like, that's not cool.
It's not cool. It's not cool, man.
It's not cool, man.
If you've been enjoying the episode, can you do us a really quick favour? Drop us a rating or a little review. It helps more people find us, and honestly, we're a little bit needy like that. Takes 2 seconds and means the world. Thanks, guys. And it's also not just endometriosis, it's PCOS, PMDD, adenomyosis, fibroids, and, you know, perimenopause and menopause as well. All this hormonal female-based stuff that is just not, it's not well researched, it's not taken seriously, and you have to jump through so many hoops. And just what you were saying then, like, since diagnosis and having this go on in my life, like my TikTok feed listens to you, and I've just seen so many girls on there who are getting pushed from pillar to post, having the same conversations with their GPs, just bawling their eyes out on camera because they're not being treated like they're supposed to be treated, and they're not being taken seriously. And I think that's the key thing that keeps coming out of it, is that they're not believed. They're either not believed, or it's minimised, or it's not bad enough to warrant this. And I think that's just what really grinds my gears, because it's just like, how loud do we need to shout until you take this seriously? Like, to have an 8.9 year diagnosis time is mental. To only be able to officially be diagnosed through surgery is mental. And there is also, you know, and it is keyhole, but still, it's surgery. And there is a few scans coming in. There's something called a dye scan, which we looked at. That's DIE, so it's deep infiltrating endometriosis scan. It's only about 80 to 90% accurate, which, it's on the higher end, but still, it's really expensive. It's obviously not offered on the NHS yet because it's not accurate enough. And it's 45 minutes of having a wand up your vagina. It's internal.
Nobody wants that.
Nobody wants that. And to be honest, like being able to tolerate that
For
when you're suffering with something
minutes.
like this.
You know, when you get a smear test and it's literally like 15 seconds and you're like, this is horrible.
This is horrific.
This is horrible.
Yeah.
But making that 45 seconds, 45 minutes is unbelievable. And it's interesting, isn't it? Because like when you were saying about, you know, getting doctors to listen to you, I feel like when we talk about going to the doctors to each other, we're like, make sure you go in and you're crying, you're screaming, you're being like, it is the worst thing that's ever, because they will not, unless you are in there, like I'm having a mental breakdown right now, because when I first found like the alopecia and like my skin was really bad, I remember going to the doctors and I was just like laying it on thick, and I got like a dermatology appointment within 2 weeks.
Yeah, that's good.
Because but that I had to be hysterical. Yeah, you have to be hysterical. Yeah, it's like you have to put this like act on to like be taken seriously. Yeah, and you can't just waltz in like, oh yeah, my balls are a bit fucking no, they're hurting or whatever, and then they're like, right, wheel in the special car, get him on straight into the hospital, the top service that you have, like fuck's sake.
And the thing is as well, it's even, you know, even the good GPs, like my GP back in London was great, she was really good, and I think she just over the head, and it's just, I sound like a broken record, but it's just not taken seriously, and it's shit. And I hope that, I don't know, if one person listening to this can be like, the same things happened to me, I would just be like, advocate, push, don't take no for an answer. And I know obviously back in the UK with the health system the way it is, you have to make it work for you, and you have to push, you have to call. And what's really hard is that you're already going through it, and then you have to then still push for results, and that's even more exhausting. Energy. And I think on the flip side here, I've been incredibly lucky to fall in with a GP who instantly understood, acknowledged, and never questioned my pain, which kind of really took me by surprise when I went and she was like, we're going to get this sorted. And at not one stage did she say to me like, is it really that bad?
Do you think you have anxiety? Yeah. GAD.
Have you thought about surgery? And you know, and the same goes for my gyno. I will say the flip side of that is that it ends up costing you money, and that's shit too, because this shouldn't be something that is like a privilege.
The amount of times that I've thought to myself, like after being to the NHS multiple times, thinking I'm gonna have to take out a credit card, and just go private, because, and I kind of did that with Roaccutane, like initially, and I went to like my first couple of appointments private because I was just like, I'm just gonna have to get it sorted. And then the hair loss came, and then I was like, okay, they finally then, because it was something else as well combined, it was like, okay, now we'll do something. But yeah, it's like it's a toll on your emotions, it's a toll on you physically, and it's a toll on your bank balance as well, because you know, this is not cheap. You know, especially doing it in Australia, like it's not NHS, but you got the best.
We got the best, and also if the price we had to pay is that because we're not citizens here, we are kind of Medicare, which is fantastic. It doesn't cover elective surgeries, and this is the other thing. This doesn't count. This counts as elective, so this counts as opting in and not medically necessary, which is the other quite concerning thing. I don't know how different that would be if you were a citizen, or if you probably could default to the public wait list, but you wouldn't get choice of your doctor. And I think the other thing with endo is that it really can come down to your doctor. Like anecdotally, I know people who've had surgeries and their doctor's been like, couldn't find anything, and they see another doctor and they were like, I don't know what your last doctor was talking about, it was bad. So there's
so hit and miss.
It's so hit and miss, and I think there is something to be said for making sure you're getting in with a specialist as well. So yeah, if you were a citizen of ours, it might be different, but for us, we're not. So our Medicare only covers certain things like emergencies, and you get rebates on certain things, but not on everything. And this didn't come under it. That being said, naming no names, you can get drunk, fall off a line bike, break your wrist, and everything's covered.
I literally was about to say a mutual
acquaintance.
A mutual acquaintance of ours got drunk, fell off a line bike, broke his wrist. Oh, their wrist, sorry.
Their wrist.
And got it all for free.
And the surgery was totally free. Yeah.
And immediate.
It was super quick. And look, I'm super happy for them that happened, but just ever so slightly bitter that, you can...
It puts things into perspective for sure.
Yeah. And don't be wrong, it's, I'm very happy that they got that service, but it does suck because it puts it into real stark light of day that often it's the female stuff that gets knocked off, and it's this female stuff that isn't essential, and that gets taken off Medicare and, or the NHS, because, that's starting to happen now at home as well, where certain things aren't covered, and are just kind of getting struck out, and it's representative of who's making those laws, and a lot of the time it's not rooms of equal distribution of gender, it's rooms of men. So anyway, I've just stopped myself from getting too political, but
no, get political. I'm ready to fight.
But there is an element of politics to it for sure. But that was my story and how it's been, and it's been really, really hard. But I'm happy to report that I feel a lot better now, and we're coming out the other side of it. And I think even just getting that rubber stamp of diagnosis, and someone saying to you like, it's as severe as it can get, it was a real like, okay, this wasn't all in your head, you weren't imagining it.
And there's me getting ready for battle when I go home. How dare you treat my weeby like this? How dare you? Do you know what she's been through? Honestly, so the kind of narrative around like what is normal period pain like needs to change. We need to dismantle it. I think doing this episode was really important because you're sat here, you've gone through the surgery now, like you are in the process of dealing with this, like you're not on the other side, but you're going through it. And, fingers crossed, I fully have faith that this time next year, I feel like you're gonna be a completely different person.
I'm already feeling a lot better, It's
I know.
good.
I can tell, I can feel it, your energy levels are coming up, we're gonna get there.
Yeah.
It's gonna happen. But yeah, I think for anybody listening that is kind of has resonated with this episode, whether it's period pain, whether it's something else, whether you're, there's some sort of female pain that you're in, like please just advocate for yourself, because nobody else is going to,
no one
unfortunately.
Else is going to.
And like maybe years and years down the line, like this might, we've got a lot more coverage on social media, there's a lot more like TikTok, on the TikTok feed, like Endo UK is doing something, we don't know what. we know that they're there though now, which is great. So yeah, I think, what would you say to somebody? I know you said briefly earlier what you would tell somebody, but
it's not normal. No period pain is normal. It's not, even though we all think it is. It's not in your head, and just be as loud as possible, because what you said, like no one, even the people who are supposed to advocate for you, will not advocate for you. Like you have to do it yourself. So just like shout and know that it is not how it's supposed to be.
Yeah, as one of our guests and our lovely guest we've had, Patricia Avery, says, live loud.
Live loud.
Live loud, live proud.
Yeah,
don't let any man tell you that your period pain is just like anxiety driven. Like, fuck that. No.
No,
so
honey.
we've got to ask the question. I mean, we have to get down to the end of the episode. We always ask the same question. This is a silly question to ask you. I feel very silly, but I feel very silly right now. I feel like we've felt very silly this whole episode, but in a way, like I feel like it's flowed nicer, because I just feel like it's a very deep topic. It's a very like uncomfortable topic as well. Like it's a very like, and it's obviously like, thank you for telling your story, because I know how hard that is to talk about, to kind of go through the kind of the trauma of it really, and like that's admirable, like for anybody to do. And if somebody goes to the doctors because of this episode, like
win-win.
Win-win. So endometriosis, Phoebe. That sound like a fucking gaslighting boyfriend.
Is it really that deep, babes?
Is it really that deep? Endo? Is it really?
I don't think
or is it just like period pain?
Period pain.
Just like standard.
Just get on with it. Yes. Yes, it is.
Yes. Don't think we needed to do that.
Yeah, and again, not just endo or period pain, PCOS, fibroids, like all of it. It is
any kind of female pain, even if you're, you've got like fibromyalgia, like you've just got, these are all collective conditions that women live with every day, and just get on with it. Mm-hmm. Just get on with it.
Just get on with it. Just do it.
We
hate
that.
Yeah.
We hate that.
Grrr. Lucy is really that deep.
Oh, you're asking me? Okay. Yes, it's deep.
It is that deep.
It's fucking deep. And now it's time for...
And what a pile of bollocks!
This is the time of the show where we chat shit about something really insignificant that just really annoys us and makes us mad. And she's right in front of me. It's Phoebe. It's Phoebe. What do you have for us today?
Cottage pie. It's disgusting.
It is disgusting.
Like, it's
I
just...
agree.
I don't... anything that's like sloppy mince meat based with like mashed potato on it, like
Crisp it up.
no.
Are you sure? And the texture thing, where it's crispy on top and then
Sloppy.
it's soggy underneath. We don't like a soggy bottom.
I don't like a soggy bottom. No,
No, I fully agree with that. It's disgusting.
it's gross. I'm not into it. I don't like it. Like I just it just reminds me of like
Have a spaghetti bolognese.
yeah.
What are you doing?
Yeah, like have a spaghetti bee.
Have a spaghetti bee.
I need to stop talking.
I love that.
And that is it.
And that's
Yeah.
all. What a pile of bollocks. Australian version.
Bye. It definitely wasn't Aussie.
Thanks so much for listening to Shallow. If you enjoyed this episode, we'd love it if you could leave us a review. It makes a really huge difference in helping others discover the podcast. We always want to hear from you, so feel free to slide into our DMs, send us a bell, or follow us on Instagram at ShallowPod. Shallow is a boxed off production, written and hosted by Lucy Bell and Phoebe Whittle. We'll see you next time.